Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store and the Google Play Store today. Take Woodward Sports with you wherever you go and listen live on your phone or mobile device.
Good morning, everyone, and thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Also featured on the Aurora on 99.1, 93.5, and 94.7 HD2.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm wonderful. How are you?
You look fantastic.
You look fantastic.
I know. What's up? How are you? How was your date?
It didn't happen.
I know. I know.
How do you know?
I figured because I went to the same place and I didn't see you there. So.
Shut up. We don't even live anywhere near each other. But yeah, no, it didn't happen. He was working.
Yeah,
so,
working.
You know.
Okay.
But we did FaceTime. So we hung out.
You guys
on
have entered
FaceTime.
a whole new
I don't know if I've heard that
stratosphere
before.
in your relationship.
Well,
Something
it was kind
new.
of nice because I was like, wow, like if he's gonna stand me up, at least he still wants to talk to me.
Sure.
Have you
That's
met
more
the person?
than most people.
Have you met the person before yesterday?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, fine. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. I had a good day yesterday. Fish, how was your day, buddy?
That's pretty good. We had some good games yesterday. Avalanche.
Yep, Avalanche
beat
are
the
in the
Oilers
Stanley Cup
yesterday.
Finals. Yeah.
I was a little disappointed, but that's how life
Disappointed?
goes.
Why?
Well, I want the Oilers.
Yeah,
But-
I was one of the people that wanted the Oilers.
Well,
but
most
when you're the
Detroiters
Avalanche,
do.
Yeah.
well, when the Avalanche play that good,
Yeah.
I don't care. They were that
Yeah.
good. They were
Yeah.
that much better, and I think they're the favorites to win it all. To be honest with you,
Well, Rangers look pretty good, though.
Rangers have looked pretty good. I think the Lightning could tie it up tonight,
They will.
so I'm excited. I think
They
that's
will.
going to be a 6-7 game series. I'm excited. Anyways, let's get the show started. Yesterday, guys, Terry and I, we discussed maybe is Jeff Okudah possibly a +1 player. And what is the definition of a +1 player? Well, that's somebody that you weren't expecting to come back this year and contribute to the team. You can essentially treat him, since he is a first-round pick, like an additional first-round pick. And in a perfect world, Jeff Okudah plays a full season. He plays very well, and the Detroit Lions benefit from that. Having said that, that does not remove what I'm about to say. That does not change what I'm about to say. Jeff Okudah is a bust. What are you laughing at over there? I need to know.
So I was looking at the comments.
Maddie, it's okay. We still love you. Which one?
No. So then I rewinded the video, and you can see you like doing your little dances while.
Oh, from the mirror?
Yeah.
Guys, now you have inside information on how I distract Maddie whenever she starts the show. Oh, God. All right, let's get into some Jeff Okudah talk. Holy hell. All right. You can all root for Jeff Okudah. It'll be a very good thing if he's pretty damn good to very good this year for the Detroit Lions. Does not change the fact that after 2 seasons, he has been a bust. Adham, Joe Burrow tore his ACL midway into his first season. Why wasn't he labeled a bust? Well, in the 7-8 games that he played, my friend, Joe Burrow looked really damn good. And in the 9 games in the 9 games Jeff Okudah played in his rookie year, he didn't look good at all. Well, Adham, he had Matt Patricia. All right? Jalen Ramsey was coached by Gus Bradley, who has a worse winning percentage than Matt Patricia has. And that's saying something, because Matt Patricia sucked. Didn't stop Jalen Ramsey from performing year 1. I don't see the issue. Again, Jeff Okudah at number 3, it was an awful pick. I'm not going to pile on about it. What happened, happened. But at the end of the day, he is a bust. Why? Because if he wasn't Deion Sanders or Champ Bailey, that pick was never going to work. You know what, guys? I have a screenshot, by the way. This is a conversation between me and my cousin. All right? Okay. I'm going to read you what I said and what he said. And then, I wish I could show you, but whatever. I'll send it to Westfall later. Let's see. This is April 23rd, 2020.
Okay.
I text him, I hope Okudah turns out great. He was the team captain at Ohio State, solid corner. He says, he responds, he's going to replace Slay, but other than that, it doesn't change the franchise. I hate it. So his words, not mine. And then I respond, he only changes the franchise if he's Deion Sanders or Champ Bailey. I said that shit 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Anything less is a bust at 3. Could have traded back or used Tua as leverage. But here we are. The point is, guys, Jeff Okudah could be a Pro Bowler this year, next year, and the following year. A corner at 3 is that's not value. And again, I expect him to come back and have a good year. His recovery's gone really well. Reports from Kory and just some individual friends that we have that are close to Jeff Okudah are saying that he's well beyond track to come back and have a good season, which good. You don't want to see people injured all the time. It's not nice. But at the end of the day, some of it his fault, some of it not his fault. He is a bust. It's just that simple. No, he didn't choose or decide to be taken number 3 overall. Dumb and Dumber decided to do it. Even though it was actually Matt Patricia, by the way, who wanted Derek Brown, who hasn't worked out much better, but still. It was actually Bob Quinn that put his foot on the ground about Jeff Okudah. And it was your ownership that said, hey, we don't believe in you guys, so we're just magically going to put a win-now mentality on you. And if you can't do it, we're going to fire you, which completely changes the draft strategy of a GM and a head coach on the hot seat. Unbelievable. So here we are with Jeff Okudah. He's played 9 games year 1, 1 game year 2. And the problem, the biggest problem of all of this is he has never looked good outside of his rookie year against Arizona. Open field tackling, pretty solid. He had an interception that game. Outside of that, he has been subpar, nothing like a 3rd overall pick corner should look like. Looked nothing like Jalen Ramsey did his rookie year. And I'm being generous by even saying Jalen Ramsey, because Deion Sanders and Champ Bailey are much better than Jalen Ramsey. But I take Jalen Ramsey right now with that number 3 overall pick. I would have liked that instead. Didn't happen. Wanted Justin Herbert. Wanted Tua. Maybe leverage him with the Dolphins. Get picks 5 and 18. Oh, by the way, fun fact. Also in that text thread, at the bottom of it, Justin Jefferson is still on the board. I'm hitting home runs, even 2 years ago when I wasn't even talking about sports. But anyways, what kills me, Maddie, this morning, is Jeff Okudah is, again, a corner. It is one of the least important positions in football. Not that it's not important, of course, but it has diminished in value. Or I wouldn't say diminished in value, but, Maddie, it's become a more difficult position to play. Can't hold the wide receivers, can't grab them, contact's limited, and they really don't allow you to play more physical up until later on in the season in the playoffs. So you're really going the whole season getting burnt, and then you got to play a whole different way in the playoffs. Trayvon Diggs, 11 interceptions last year. Gave up over 1,000 yards. It's insane. And then, of course, there's your Patrick Surtains, your Jalen Ramseys, who just do a damn good job. But it would have been nice to have one of those guys. You don't have them. And ideally, Okudah comes back and has a good year. But, again, if he's a Pro Bowler for the next 3 years, does that mean he's a hit? I don't think so. Still a bust. Can't be the number 3 overall pick. The first corner taken in 25 years at that position, at that slot, and not be Champ Bailey or Deion Sanders. Sorry. Am I being too harsh, Maddie? I'm looking to you for guidance.
Yes.
Really?
I would love to say yes, but no, you're not being too harsh.
Oh, okay.
Because, well, exactly. You look at a guy who's taken number 3 overall. Like, you can't just be who you are and expect that to be good enough. You have to be better than that. So, I don't know. It's one of those things where if you don't perform in the first, honestly, year or 2,
It's tough.
you're a bust.
Yeah, it's tough. And look, you can be a bust for being injured too. That's a thing. That's a thing, guys. Sorry. If you're not available, you're a bust. At least when Charles Rogers, by the way, who busted for the Lions, at least he showed some promise before he got hurt. Oh, man. That kills me. That really does. You know what? We got a great show lined up today, by the way. 8:15, we're going to talk about a good I want all of us to have a good understanding of what the Lions are going to do this year, or at least the product they're going to put on the field. 8:30, we're going to have Kory Woods joining us. 8:45, Anthony Broome. Jeff Iafrate at 9:15, and then, of course, Woodward Heavyweights on Tuesdays. I'm starting to regret that decision.
It's happened like 2 times. How can you regret that?
I already regret it. 9:30, they'll be joining the show. Should be fun. We're going to talk some Donovan Mitchell. They're interesting individuals. That's all I'm going to say.
We can ask them about making Terry cry.
Is that the hot sauce thing?
Yeah.
I didn't watch it. Was it good?
I didn't watch it either.
Oh, well.
Boy.
How do you know
It is
Terry
posted.
cried?
Because they did it at Frankenmuth.
Yeah, they did at Frankenmove.
Was Terry crying when he got back?
Yeah.
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, Terry was
Yes.
sobbing.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
the
wow.
tears.
Poor bastard.
He can't handle the heat.
Yeah, clearly. I'm not much of a hot sauce guy. I mean, I can do a good amount, but that crazy death, whatever they call it, that stuff, can't do it. Like that death chip
The
challenge.
ghost pepper
yeah,
chip.
yeah, I can't do that stuff.
Well, just wait, because What the Food starts next week. So.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, get the...
Nuh-uh, you're doing it.
No.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, you are. You don't get the option. Remember you told me I'm supposed to tell people what to do? I'm telling you what to do.
It's not wrong.
I am like the worst example of that, but that's
Exactly.
fine. I'll take it. I'll allow it. All right. I do want to move on from Jeff Okudah. Obviously, last night, Stanley Cup playoffs, the Avalanche beat Connor McDavid.
Did I or did I not call
Maybe
it?
a future
It's
Red
fine.
Wing. Maybe a future Red Wing. This is a team that has the salary cap to do it. They have the history to pull off that kind of move. They were linked to Nathan McKinnon not too long ago, but again, this is years from now. Having said that, I don't think Connor should leave Edmonton. They got a good team. Their problem is their back line and their goaltending is pathetic. That series honestly should be tied 2-2. They shouldn't have lost game 1. They shouldn't have lost game... what the hell I'm talking about here?
Game 4.
Game 4. Super frustrating.
Yeah.
Because you can't score that amount of goals and not win. You can't be losing a game in overtime 6-5 in the Stanley Cup playoffs, down 3-0. You can't. So
That's a bad bounce.
McDavid plays with arguably the second, third, or fourth best player, depends where you want to put him, in Leon Draisaitl. That's a nice future to have. He comes here, let's say, to Detroit. Who's he playing with? Lucas Raymond, who's 20 years old. Okay. Yeah, I think he's doing just fine in Edmonton. They're putting up a ton of points in the regular season. They're a fun team to watch, but holy hell, they're frustrating to watch as well.
Yeah, I'm not mad about it.
Yeah, if I'm an Edmonton fan, I'm looking like, how do we have the best player in literally hockey? And it's by like a landslide. Mm-hmm. And the dude's averaging more than 2 points a game in the playoffs. And we get swept?
Yeah.
You know,
No,
if you score two goals a game as a team in the playoffs, like, you have
You're
a good
doing
chance at
good.
winning a game. This
Not
dude's
in
doing
this
it by
series.
himself.
Well, and you look at the scores of these games. I mean, 8-6 the first game of the series. That's crazy. Then 4-0, 4-2, 6-5.
Goaltending. Pathetic.
Bizarre.
Bizarre, pathetic, too. The Avalanche, look, they're just that much better as a team. What, Cole had, 5 points last night? Their defenseman?
I think so.
Makar had 5 points last night. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Nathan McKinnon, again, is insanely fast. It's kind of scary. I think he's faster with the puck. Makes no sense. Like, imagine if you tell somebody to run 100 meters without a football, but they're faster with a football in their hands. Does that make sense to you? It doesn't to me.
Not at all.
He is insanely fast.
Has this been like the weirdest playoff stretch for both hockey and basketball? Just scoring wise?
Honestly, I'm enjoying the Stanley Cup playoffs more than I have in recent years. Like,
Because it's more exciting because of more goals?
Goals are always exciting. I think the narrative, right? Connor McDavid in a conference final,
Sure.
Nathan McKinnon in the Avalanche in a conference final. The Rangers, who, by the way, were picking number 1 overall a few years ago, are in the conference final. And then you have the Hurricanes, who are one of the better teams in hockey, top 2, top 3.
We got a homer on the Rangers, too.
Who's that?
Jacob Trouba. Yeah.
Well, Darren Helm's on the Avalanche, so I guess pick your poison.
Yeah. Fair.
Well, look, we're going to go to break. When we get back, we're going to talk some Detroit Lions. Again, I do want to discuss the product they're going to put on the field and why I think it'll be a complete pain in the ass to play against. But before we do, the best defense on and off the football field, Maddie, is Guardian Alarm.
Yes, it is. Guardian Alarm. They keep you safe and give you peace of mind whether you're at home, on the road. Their 24/7 local monitoring makes sure what's important to you is safe. Call 1-800 stay out today for peace of mind. That's right, you heard Fish. 1-800 stay out right now and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house. Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for $4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Krogers, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
If you need apparel, there's only one place to go, and that's Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround time, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. They've got embroidery, direct-to-garment vinyl, and screen printing. Big Frog, they just have the styles that you want. Visit them online at bigfrog.com/Novi, or you can call them at 844-4-BIG-FROG.
All right, we're back here on
My
the
words
Morning
are
Woodward
rough
Show.
this morning.
Yeah, you're slurring.
can't form
I think you
sentences.
drank too much last night.
It's funny because I didn't even drink last
We are
night.
short-staffed this week.
I went
by
to
the
the
way.
gym last night. Didn't you see my
I did
video?
see your Planet Fitness post. It was
Yes.
awesome.
Back in buys.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good
Did
for
you go to
I
the gym
was
yesterday?
a different kind of gym. Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I'm just gonna leave it at that.
Hey, can I bring up Tiger Woods for a minute, by
Sure,
the way?
go for it, buddy.
Because Tiger Woods
Please.
reportedly... Tiger Woods reportedly got offered $1 billion to join the Saudi tour and he rejected it.
Okay.
I mean, that's got to show some respect to the PGA Tour, doesn't it? Because you see all the people getting shipped away.
He's worth 1.7 billion.
Okay,
I
but
think he's doing just fine.
well, the PGA Tour ain't paying him that much, so
No, of course not. But again, there needs to be a really, you know what? We can talk about it for 4 minutes, 5 minutes. There needs to be a hard line in the sand from every golfer on the tour, and also the PGA Tour, how they're going to fix or understand how they're going to compete with this. Because you have to understand, this money that's coming from the LIV Golf Tour is not revenue. It's oil money.
Yep.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
This is not the LIV Tour event is generating so much money that it can pay out these fees, these figures. This is an upfront, basically, investment to get eyes over to this tournament, number one. And number two, they'll never be able to sustain that model. If that model was sustainable, by the way, the PGA Tour would be doing it.
I mean, $4 million is the prize money, so they got to be doing something
they have,
right.
No, buddy, they have, again...
I know they have oil money.
This is money coming directly, literally from their state. This
Yes.
is ridiculous.
Yes.
Happy for the players that took the money. Good for them. I don't.
Phil Mickelson,
I have
Dustin
no problem with
Johnson,
that. Good for you.
Garcia,
You get an
season.
opportunity to financially set yourself up. I have no problem with that. But there needs to be a hard line in the sand for the PGA Tour and just golfers in America completely, and really all around the world. This is like so unacceptable. This is not sport. This is a circus. This is not golf. That's not what golf was ever meant to be. It's not what it is right now. So yeah, is the PGA Tour difficult? People aren't able to make it. Some struggle financially to keep up on the tour because their performances aren't allowing. Yeah, of course. Nothing's perfect. Should the PGA Tour come out with a salary system to guarantee or make it easier for these golfers to go around the country and golf? Sure, maybe, fine. I'm willing to hear out everything. What I'm not willing to hear out is that this LIV Golf Tour is some good thing. It is not. It is financially backed by a bunch of bullshit. It's not even real money. It's oil money. Has nothing to do with the game of golf. None of that money is going back to the game of golf. I don't even want to hear it. So there you go, Fish. There's my 2 cents in less than 3 minutes. Fair?
Sure. It is sanctioned by the Asian Tour, by the way.
I don't give it.
So-
Asia. Wow, the Asians.
Well, no, I'm just saying
sanctioned
it is
Wow.
sanctioned.
No, I don't care. They pay them to get it sanctioned, buddy.
Well, but it's still sanctioned.
All right.
Like just like Tiger Woods rejected that money. Asia could have rejected the money. They chose not to.
Asia has no conflict of interest with the PGA Tour and the LIV Tour. Again, we're going to move on. All good. I appreciate it, though, buddy. Thank you. Let's move on. Detroit Lions. All right. Everyone's excited for the season. I don't blame you guys. What are we? Less than 100 days away from football. So feeling really good. Yep. So we're getting about that time. I'm very excited. I'm just excited to be able to do all the events that we're going to be doing, talk football. That's always fun. But the Detroit Lions, guys, I'm going to tell you why they're going to be a pain in the ass to play against. They really are. Why are you smiling like that? You're really throwing me off this morning.
You don't like when I smile at you?
Not when you stare at me like this and you just smile like that. Imagine you're trying to work and somebody's just staring at you.
What, do you not want me to look at you?
Okay, you can't.
What am I supposed to do? I literally am in a chair that's facing you.
God damn it. What's up with these naked HD stuff that show up on our page? What is
It's
this?
pretty much our fault for getting into any of the
Yeah, I
conversations
was gonna
we've
say,
ever gotten
What do
into.
they, like, pick up our voices?
Yeah,
Probably.
it's
Big
called-
Brother's always watching.
It's called Freaky Friday and Growth from the network.
Okay. All right, I'm going to
Anyways,
give you guys the benefit
Detroit
of the doubt here.
Lions.
Jesus Christ. Where was I at?
All that you're excited about, all the events.
Yeah, the
we're gonna
Lions.
have,
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
all
The
Lions
Detroit Lions this year.
games.
Yeah.
With
That they're going to be a pain in the ass to play.
They are going to be a pain in the ass, Fish. I'll tell you why.
Tell us.
Top 5 offensive line projected to go into the season. If their offensive line plays at the level that we expect them to, that's going to be a problem. Whether they're a talented football team or not, you win and lose football games at the line of scrimmage. You win and lose football games at the line of scrimmage. And when you're a team that can control the line of scrimmage, on the offensive side, it really opens up your entire playbook. The Lions were one of the lowest ranked teams in the NFL in terms of play action pass last year. You can expect them to be top 10 this year. I think they will really open up the offense for Jared Goff. I think you're going to see a much better version of Jared Goff, given what's around him, which has always been the key indicator around Jared Goff. Surround him with talent, just like any quarterback. Surround him with a good offensive line to protect him, just like any quarterback. And it works out. And I think that's going to be the case this year. Whether DeAndre Swift is healthy for a whole season or not, I don't think will impact or make a difference in terms of how they're going to play. Will they be more dynamic with Swift on the field? Of course, of course. But they're going to be able to run the ball basically on first, second, third, and fourth down if they chose to in a single drive. It doesn't matter. They can do it 4 straight times. And you have to figure out how you're going to stop it. They could throw the ball on multiple downs. On downs where you're expecting, all right, 3rd and 1, they're running it here. 100% with that offensive line. And then they hit you with a play action. And then that 2-yard run that you could have gotten to get a first down turns into a 14, 20, 30-yard pass play underneath on play action. That is the reality. That's the reality of what the Lions are going to be this year. I think they're just going to be one of those teams where you look at them on the schedule, Maddie, and you say, God damn it, we got to play those guys. And it's not that, man, those guys are contenders. We got to have our A game. They're a pain in the ass to play against. They just are. And I've been saying it for months now, but you look at the Cleveland Browns, when they're healthy, it's not. Don't you ever do that again. You guys, I'm going to fire you both. You freaking distracting me. Jesus Christ.
We'll both leave.
I'm going to kill you both. The Detroit, see, now I'm everywhere. The Cleveland Browns, when healthy, Fish leave.
All right, I will.
All right.
Good luck, by the way, in audio.
Yep. All right. The Cleveland Browns. When they're healthy, pain in the ass to play against. Not fun. They can run the ball. Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb. A very good offensive line. Sets up their play-action pass, which allowed Baker Mayfield to be very successful. So, again, life is simple. Let's not overthink. This is not going to be a top 5 offense in the NFL, but it's going to be a offense that I think is going to be pretty effective. I think they'll score much more points than they did last year. But more important than that, they're just going to be a big pain in the ass to play against. Good luck. Good luck lining up at the line of scrimmage against that offensive line. And we haven't even talked about the defensive line. Year or two of both interior linemen that Brad Holmes had drafted. You then have Pascal, Charles Harris, Aquara, and now Aiden Hutchinson resuming the edge positions. I mean, this is fun. This is going to be fun. I think it's a good way to build a team. You know, Maddie, were you around last season? Arizona game. Were you at that game?
Yes.
So when they played Arizona, that to me was the first time I looked at the football team, and that was, I believe, their second one of the year. And I said, "Oh, they have an identity now. I see it. All right." And I like that. At that moment, I took a huge step back on criticizing Dan Campbell because he showed me a roadmap to success. That's the way they need to play football to be successful in the future. Why? I've seen it before. That's how the Niners play to an extent, even though the Niners are super dynamic because of Kyle Shanahan, but the Browns play like that. We've seen this type of football work in the NFL. It's won games, it's won playoff games, it's won divisions. So, in that moment for me, that was my coming to Jesus moment, if you want to call it that. That's when I saw, all right, that's what they're building towards. Let's see how the offseason goes, and it's been a damn good offseason in my opinion. I think they're going to be a pain in the ass to play against, and I'm just going to keep saying it because you need to understand what exactly that means. That's Kory. I can't wait to talk to Kory. I miss Kory.
Yeah, I know.
He's not around often. Too busy at Allen Park.
You miss talking to Kory.
Of course. I miss talking to Kory because he's, one of our beat reporter. Does a hell of a job covering the Lions for us. And two, he's just a stand-up dude. A lot of bitches out there reporting on teams.
You want to know what really makes him mad? You want to know what makes him mad?
Yeah.
When you sing the Kory in the House song.
How do you sing it quick before he gets here?
Well, I'll just sing it when he walks through
Tell
the
me.
door.
No. What is it? I want to sing it too.
You just say, Kory, Kory, Kory in the house.
Is that what it is?
Oh, yeah.
Kory,
He hates
Kory,
it.
Kory in the house.
Yeah.
All right, where's this punk?
He absolutely hates it.
Kory!
He's there he is. Here he comes.
All right, everybody get ready for this.
All
3,
right, Kory Woods,
2,
everybody.
1. Kory, Kory, Kory in the house. She told me to say. He walked away.
Have a good day, Kory.
Kory,
Go
come
Lions.
back. Kory, I got you scheduled for 8:30. I need 14 minutes from you. Get your ass back here. We got to go to break. When we get back, Kory's going to join us. Maddie, could you tell us what's popping up at Big Boy?
Yes, I can. The Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy, but it's only here for a little bit longer. I think till June 19th is the last day of the Strawberry Fest, so make sure to head on over. They brought back some of the classic items like these strawberry waffles, hot cakes. They have a strawberry salad, and let's not forget their very delicious strawberry pie for just $1.99 with the purchase of $7.99 or more. So head on over to your local Big Boy.
Fellas, let's be honest. We like things to be easy. We like simple stuff, like sports 7 days a week. We like things uncomplicated, like Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Sign in, sit down, watch your favorite team play, and before you know it, your hair will be game ready. Open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. I really hope that people can see that still.
I hope they can. Yeah, they can see me. My arm's like going up and down. Hell yeah.
He's giving me a heart, Jeff.
Suck my dick, Jeff. Think I care? I have no
Fish
idea.
even has middle fingers for
Yeah,
Jeff.
there you go, Fish. Love the support. Kory, what's up, man?
What's going on?
How you been? How's OTA's been?
OTAs have been cool. I mean, they've only had us out there for the media once a week. So over the past couple of weeks, the mini camp is getting underway this week. So I'm going to be out there a couple of days this week. So the access is picking up.
All right, you know I love you.
Oh, yeah.
You know I'll do anything for you.
Oh, yeah.
I'm telling you, you need me at 2 in the morning. You need me to go throw down, I got you.
Let's wait. Where's this other shoe dropping at? What's
So here
going
we
on?
go. Here's where we're getting at.
Let's get it.
I love you.
Mm-hmm.
You wrote a Jeff Okudah article.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I read it. I didn't hate it, but I hated parts of it.
Okay.
So let's start with this. I think he's a bust.
Really?
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
10 games played in 2 seasons, not ideal. In the 10 games he's played, he's never shown anything special outside of the game in Arizona. So even prior to injury, he wasn't showing anything special. Now, again, like in your article, coached by Matt Patricia. My counter would be Gus Bradley coached Jalen Ramsey. Gus Bradley has one of the worst coaching records in NFL history.
Okay.
Again, Patricia is an anomaly considering how devastating he was to a locker room. But my point is, Kory, we're 2 years in. You can be a bust for a multitude of reasons. Jeff Okudah can still be a Pro Bowler. That is very possible. But he hasn't been available. He hasn't played well when he's been available. Last year, in the preseason, he struggled. And then in Game 1, struggled. And before he tore his Achilles. Now, does that mean he's going to suck for the rest of his career? No. Look, I mean, I'm one of the people that are saying I hope he comes back and has a full recovery and has a good season. It's good for the Lions. But that doesn't change the fact that the number 3 overall pick has been less productive than half the corners taken in his draft that were drafted after the 3rd round. Kills me.
All right, I got a question.
Yeah.
First 2 years in the league, did you think Matthew Stafford was a bust?
No.
Because Matthew Stafford played.
But he played.
But he played 13 games over 2 seasons and had 22 picks.
But when he I used Joe Burrow for that argument. Joe Burrow, before he tore his ACL, played 7 games and looked damn good. Matthew Stafford looked damn good and much better than what we'd seen from other quarterbacks. So my issue with Okudah is it's not so much just the games played only. It's what you did in those games.
I think it's
because I could live with it if he was a damn good corner.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be calling him a bust. If he played not lockdown, but let's say like really good top 12, top 14 level corner play when he was available, I'd be saying, guys, look, this is a guy that just needs to get healthy. If he's healthy, he's going to be a damn problem in the league. But unfortunately, we haven't had that.
I think there are a couple of things operating. For one, I don't think that Jeff Okudah should have ever been taken 3rd overall. I mean, so let's get that out the way. It's not his fault where he was drafted at. There was only people I think that were thinking Jeff Okudah was the number 3 overall draft pick was Bob Quinn and maybe Matt Patricia, because you hear rumors that Matt Patricia may have not been all the way on board with that or whatnot. But that's neither here nor there. Look, the guy's only played 10. He's only played 10 games. Now, granted, all the 2020 rookies of that class, they didn't have a draft. They didn't have a training camp. They all had the virtual camp. You add the virtual camp on top of having a quote-unquote defensive guru as your head coach. The guy admittedly said that he did not know what his expectations of him were in his rookie season. He was already doomed for failure right there. Then next year, okay, you're hearing him say the great things like, oh, he's learning more about what's expected of him under Aaron Glenn. And then, boom, in week 1, he's out for the season with an Achilles injury. So I think that by calling him a bust is a little bit too early. I think if you want to say that the return on the investment for the Lions has not been there, that's very fair to say. He has because he has not been on the field. But I think that if he's going to call him a bust, I would say you need a little bit more data to call him a bust. Let's say he goes out and he's gone for the season by, let's say, week 3. Then you can say, okay, you know what? The pick was a bust.
I think the pick was a bust no matter what. He still has an opportunity to become a good player in the NFL. That is a guarantee. He can still become a good player if he's healthy. Having said that, the pick still is a bust. And
how?
Take the phone.
Okay.
I'm on the left. This is a friend of mine that screenshotted this. Our conversation, April 23rd, 2020. This is our conversation about Jeff Okudah, and I've said the same thing since. If he's not Deion Sanders or Champ Bailey at 3, he's a bust.
But that's the thing about it. I agree with that. When you're taking a cornerback overall, you're saying this guy's going to be Deion Sanders. You're saying he's going to be a Jalen Ramsey. You're saying he's going to be a Patrick Peterson. You're saying he's going to be one of those guys. In my opinion, I never thought that he was going to be one of those guys. Did I think that he was a top 10 draft pick? Absolutely. I think that it was foolish.
He was a coveted player.
Yeah, he was definitely a coveted player. So I'm not going to sit up here and act like this guy was chopped liver.
No.
But I think that for the Lions, with the situation that he was coming into, everything that was going to be expected of him, I think that him being a number 3 overall pick, it was the wrong move, but he can't help where he was drafted.
In his defense, I'm okay with. The pick itself, number 3 overall, it's already done and dusted. That is a disaster pick. Can he become a Pro Bowler twice in the next 3 years? That would be great. Would love to see it.
And then, I think he becomes a bust when his Lions tenure is over, and you got nothing out of the pick. Like let's look at Joey Harrington. Joey Harrington was a bust. Joey Harrington could have played horrible his first couple of years, and then towards the end of his Lions deal, he played significantly better or whatever. The pick would have been a bust. If Jeff Okudah turns into a Pro Bowler, All-Pro by the time his rookie deal is over, then it would have been a bust.
I think that's fair, but what I would say is, let me ask you a question. Would you rather miss on a quarterback at 3 or a corner?
Oh, I would definitely rather miss on a quarterback.
On a corner?
On a quarterback.
A quarterback, yeah. So we're on the same page. So because that position is so important. I don't knock teams that pick 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 overall, take a quarterback, unless they pull a Mitchell Trubisky and you trade up for him. But that's a whole different conversation. Either he makes it or he doesn't. Deciding what a quarterback is one of the hardest decisions in football. A corner at 3 was always a reach. Ownership let the whole fan base down by allowing the people that they didn't believe in to make that pick, and they put them under pressure.
That's really the bigger issue at hand, is because you got guys that were pretty much going to get their walking papers at some point that season. So what they should have done was not let them keep their jobs with such a pivotal pick, because what you saw was they made a pick in Jeff Okudah based on the interest of what they felt would get them to keep their job, as opposed to the best interest of the franchise. Because for me, and I'm not going revisionist history on this, I was never on the Tua bandwagon because of his injury in college.
Could you have leveraged Tua against Miami? Yes or no? Do you believe a competent GM that was in town, let's say Brad Holmes, if Brad Holmes was in town, do you think the Lions are picking at 3 that year? I don't.
No.
I think they take 5 and 18 for number 3 and a second-round pick.
But that's also, you had incompetence in that front office.
Well, that's my point, because and I'm showing you those screenshots because of the frustration that built up. There's a lot of pent-up frustration with the pick, because if a fan base understands, hey, that team needs a quarterback, your quarterback's contract is expiring in 2 years, he's a great trade piece. You can sit a quarterback for a year, whether it was Tua or Herbert. I don't care who you wanted. You could have sat one for a year, traded Stafford, and been on the same train, except with a franchise quarterback moving forward. Competent front office would have done that. This front office, I believe, would have done that. Again, it's irrelevant now. What happened. But I want to move on from Okudah for a little bit. I think the Lions are going to be a pain in the ass to play against.
Oh, yeah.
I think, honestly, if you give me a top 5, top 10 team that I don't want to play, not because they're better than me, but because they're just a pain in the ass, the Lions are up there.
And I want to go on why I think that is. Last year, towards the end of the year, you saw this team get better as far as the coaching and the players on the field, and a lot of those guys that they had on defense, they were some undrafted free agents, guys that were picking them off the street because they were going through so many injuries. Now you're going into year 2 of Dan Campbell, and I would say this about the culture there. That same culture is there, like, it's real lighthearted. Guys are enjoying each other. But as I said a couple of days ago, they're now a bit more about business. And they're out there still enjoying each other, but they're out there now trying to get after. They're out there competing.
You're around Dan Campbell a lot.
Yeah.
My observation from 100 miles away. He's grown up.
Oh, yeah.
And he's becoming, I think, one of the better communicators in the NFL. Am I wrong?
I think I agree with that. I think when he first got in there, he was just, I think he was really excited. I don't want to say clueless, but just just had a lot going on with him right now. So
we're all clueless. For the first time
So like he was just trying to figure things out. And admittedly, so out of his own admission, he as the season got on, he got better. Now coming into this season, I think he's a lot more composed. And to your point, he's a great communicator, and I think that is going to show dividends. It's going to pay dividends on the field because you just see the energy from these guys being around each other and being out there on the practice field, and hopefully can translate into something good.
Yeah, I do agree, Kory. My final question to you would be, talks of Jeff Okudah, DeAndre Swift being healthy, Hawkinson being healthy. If this offensive line is what I think it is, and what you think it is, let's say top 5.
Okay.
How do they not win 7, 8, 9 games?
I don't know. Especially also you look at DeAndre Swift. DeAndre Swift has been hitting the weight room. I said this last week. While I was out there on the field, I didn't even know who the hell he was. I thought he had switched numbers. Because he was jacked from head to toe. Calm down, Maddie. Somebody get a fire hose. But if he was already a MF and problem when healthy last year. Now he's coming back in even better shape, even more cut. Now you're going to have another year of this potentially great offensive line right there. You got a great running back committee. I think if they win less than 7 games, you can. It's fair to ask some questions because if they're healthy and you look at look what they got on offense
and their schedule.
I mean, it's hard outside, and also too. Let's go to receivers. Outside of the Minnesota Vikings, I think they have the best wide receiving tandem in the North.
Oh, absolutely. They're second.
Yeah,
they're clearly second.
Clearly second.
They're second, and they're first or second in almost every unit outside of quarterback, and I would argue linebacking core and secondary. Minnesota's defensive line, I guess you could give them the edge too over the Lions, so they could be top 3, I guess. But I think you get where I'm going with this. The Lions, at least offensively, stack up with any team in the North and almost any team in the NFC.
And I will say, even though it's OTAs and the guys were not in any pads, just in my personal opinion, I saw Jared Goff look better than he did last year. Now, we're going to see what's going to happen when training camp comes. We're going to see what happens when preseason comes. But just off of just throwing the ball, just being out there looking a little bit more comfortable, he looked better than last year.
Absolutely. I think Ben Johnson's going to be a miracle for this guy. I'm not saying 4,800 yards, 40 touchdowns, but from, again, 100 miles away, you're there every day. Tell me I'm wrong. Ben Johnson is having a bigger impact than even Dan Campbell perceived from the beginning.
Well, here's the thing about Ben Johnson. What did he say that him and Jared Goff did? He said him and Jared Goff sat down. They looked at some footage from the Rams, what he was successful at, what he did good at. What is the job of a coach? To put their players in the best position to succeed. It didn't feel like that last year when Jared Goff was with Anthony Lynn as the OC. It just didn't feel like it. And then when Dan Campbell and Ben Johnson started taking over the play calling towards the end of the season, you saw Jared Goff get more comfortable. Now you're going to have a whole training camp, mini camp, training camp, preseason, and a season of Jared Goff with that same type of dynamic where he's feeling more comfortable and confident in the play calling. I believe that is only going to produce better dividends.
I'm with you, Kory. I really appreciate you coming on. Last question, 20 seconds. What are the Detroit Lions more of? The first 10 games of the year last year or the last 7?
I think it's hard to say.
Which is more of the real indication going into the season?
I think going into the indication is more of the last 3, the last better half of the season, how they looked at the home games, how they look competing and just fighting and not. I don't want to say they gave up in those first 8, but they look like more of the team we saw during the season.
I love it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, follow Kory Woods on Twitter. Check out his articles on the Woodward Sports website. Sorry, man. I love you, buddy.
Woo.
I love you. We got to go to break. Hey, I'll see HR after the show. When we get back, Anthony Broome joins us to talk some Michigan football. I got a lot of questions for Anthony. But before we do, I got to tell you about MyBookie, the premier sports betting outlet. MyBookie. Sign up today using code WoodwardBet from anywhere, anytime using MyBookie. Tonight's bet, Lightning to tie up the series against the New York Rangers. Gamble responsibly, and if you have a problem, please call 1-800-270-7117.
It took exploring 50 different formulas and hosting countless taste tests, but we believe Gypsy Vodka is the smoothest vodka on the market. Don't believe us? Ask the owners.
We're Mike and Adam Kazanowski with High Five Spirits Distillery. We're in close to about 1,200 locations throughout Michigan. We wanted to create a brand that was geared more towards freedom, love, adventure, and at the end of the day, we really wanted to tell a story that inspired other people to take risk, follow their dreams, whatever that might be.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side.
Lemieux and McCarty, who've had a good knockdown drag up. There they go, right on the whistle. They were talking to one another.
Woodward Sports.
Welcome back. Thanks for joining us on the Morning Woodward Show here on the Woodward Sports Network. Adam, can you believe that it's almost football time again?
I'm excited for football season. I really am. This is the first time we get to have a full off season as a show, too.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, we started last year, August 12th, 2-3 weeks before football season.
Yeah.
And we didn't have much time to prepare, get everything out.
You know, my first day with Woodward Sports was the first home Lions game.
Yep, against the Niners, I remember. And you just showed up happy, normal. And here you are now.
An overnight flight from Nashville.
That's right. That's right.
In typical Maddie fashion.
Mrs. Worldwide over here, flying private jets all around the United States. Let me know when Anthony's on, and we'll get to Anthony Broome. Back to what Kory said. That is the again, not the feeling. That is the understanding within the Lions media community that this team, for the better half of last season, is the team that will show up this year. I don't expect them to have an Anthony Lynn, Dan Campbell, butt fumble, pathetic play calling 10-week stretch where they just lose every game possible, 2 of which were last-second field goals from 55 yards plus. They were the first team in NFL history to even do that. They lost 3 games, I believe, last season by a last-second field goal. So the Lions last year found ways to lose under Dan Campbell. In year 2, again, I'm not saying he's a home run. He's a Hall of Fame coach. But year 2, you're going to find out if this guy can coach. Sorry, you may not want to hear it. That's the goddamn truth. The offensive line is there. The wide receiving talent is there. You have a bridge quarterback. Ryan Tannehill had the number 1 seed last year. If you have a coach in the building and he can coach your team up, you will win football games on a consistent basis. So, yes, when I say I expect them to win 7 to 8 games, but then I say if they win 10, I wouldn't be surprised, that's not me covering my ass. That's just the reality. Because the reality is if Dan Campbell's a damn good coach, that's a 10-win football team this year based on the schedule and based on the improvements they've made. So, yes, I expect 7 to 8. But if Dan Campbell, if I told you, insert a top 12, top 15 head coach, you would tell me the same thing. Anthony Broome joining us this morning. Anthony, it's been a minute. How have you been, buddy?
I'm great. Good to be back. Always good to chat with you, my friend.
Man, I got a lot of questions for you. I got to start with the quarterback situation. You know I'm very vocal about my disgust with Cade McNamara. Not that he didn't do a good job last season, but I have said multiple times on record that if he's named the starting quarterback this year, I will drive up to Ann Arbor, kidnap him, and hide him in my basement until football season is over. So, Anthony, my question to you is, do I have to do that, or should I prepare myself to do that?
First off, let me recuse myself from being involved in that. That was Adam's comments, not mine. The best, like you're gonna hate that I say this. It's what I've said to you. I feel like for almost a year is that the best guy is gonna play, and JJ. I don't think it's not a hot take. I think it's actually a very mild take to say if he's what we think he can be, the ceiling of this team, this offense is just immeasurably higher if he's back there at quarterback. But there are certain things that he has to. The things that Cade McNamara does really well is that he can feel out a pass rush. He doesn't take sacks. He doesn't turn over the football. The other side of that is maybe he doesn't take a ton of chances with the ball. But there are benchmarks from that perspective and from a leadership perspective that you have to hit to be on the field and be the starting quarterback. So JJ, and I have no questions about any of that with JJ. You know, on the last year he was a freshman. I mean, he was turnover prone a bit in practice. He was a little bit reckless with the football in terms of ball security and, you know, slide. I mean, someone needs to teach this kid to slide, or else, you know, he'll never play extended time at Michigan because he's going to be concussed. So there are a lot of things that need to happen. I think that the talent of JJ McCarthy, I mean, if it all comes together in fall camp, forget the fact that he missed most of the spring because of a shoulder injury. I mean, if he brings it all together, to me, it's hard to see how you keep that guy off the field. That would just, I mean, if Cade McNamara is the starter when the season begins, I don't know necessarily that that's the way that it's going to be locked in for the next 12, 13, however many games they play. But if he is the starter, and whoever really does come out of the start of fall camp as the starter for this team, I think it will be as earned as it's ever been, because I don't think those guys are. Let's just say it's heated right now. Yeah. I think there's a respect for each other within that battle as human beings, but I think that those guys are going to get after it when fall camp starts, and I'm fascinated to see who it's going to be.
And as they should, Anthony. One of my biggest frustrations with the team last year is, again, they had this unknown ceiling. And, you know, to Cade McNamara's credit, he did all the little things you asked, but in games where you were down or you needed a guy to step up and throw the football, he was not available to you. He wasn't available against Michigan State, and he wasn't there against Georgia. Not that J.J. McCarthy would have fared any better considering how talented that Georgia team was, but I think the point, and I think the thing we agree on, is the ceiling is much higher. Donovan Edwards, Blake Corum, the wide receiving core they have, in my opinion, they will lose more games with Cade McNamara down the stretch than they would with J.J. McCarthy, given I think he at least gives them a fighter's chance. I expect them to get massacred by Ohio State this year. I expect them to beat Michigan State but lose to Penn State. This is a team that could easily win 9 games, have 9 wins going into the Ohio State game, but it's also a team that could have maybe 7 or 8 if, 1, the inexperience of J.J. McCarthy shows, or 2, they're just limited on offense because they're relying on this 1960s way of playing football where they're just going to run the ball. And you can get away with it against Colorado State, Hawaii, Connecticut, Maryland. But once you're away on the road to Iowa, you're home to Penn State, Michigan State, you play Nebraska, Illinois, and then you're on the road in Columbus. Is that model going to work? It worked last year for the first time in 7 years for Jim Harbaugh. I think they go another 7 years without winning anything significant if they try to play this way.
Well, it did work last year. It worked at Wisconsin. It worked at Nebraska. It worked. I mean, it almost, talk about how Cade McNamara couldn't win you a game against Michigan State. I mean, that was the best game he played all year. He threw for almost 400 yards. But then again, against that defense, maybe you and I could have done that. When I look at what ailed this football team, namely because you go to the college football playoff and you play against Georgia, and that's the benchmark. When you get there, you find out real quick what the progress report of what your program is. It wasn't because Cade McNamara didn't play well. It wasn't because J.J. McCarthy should have played more. The best defensive line maybe we've ever seen beat the ass of the best offensive line in college football last year. And I think that's what that game came down to. I think that they can win this the way that they sort of did last year, but the DNA of that offense changes, not because of who's at quarterback, but because Hassan Haskins isn't there anymore. I don't think they can necessarily hammer away like they did last year. And that's not to say if you need Blake Corum or Donovan Edwards to get you a yard that they can't do it. I think both are capable. Both guys are tremendous athletes, super, have taken physical strides. They look the part, more finesse backs. They're not what Hassan Haskins was, but I think the way that the schedule sets up for them, they can kind of do that. Now it's going to have to look different inherently because the personnel is a little bit different. I think they're deeper at tight end. I think they're deeper at wide receiver. But make no mistake about it. Like, if J.J. McCarthy's the quarterback, they're not going to turn into Oklahoma and throw the ball 50 times a game. Like, I don't know that they'll throw it all that more than they were with Cade out there. It's just it comes with the benefit of, one, he brings you more value in the run game because he can run the football. And 2, I mean, there's a little more playmaking flair there. Now, there might be a higher chance of a turnover happening at some point, but there is that high ceiling playmaking flair. So that's really what it comes down to. And that's,
do we care about that, Anthony? Do we care about the turnovers when, let's just call it what it is. This is a program that has been let down by quarterback play for so many years. It was always their quarterback away, Anthony. And you finally have this stud kid coming out of high school, freshman last year. This is the guy. I don't believe it's crazy to say, if Michigan's going to win 8-9 games either way this year, I'd rather them do it with the kid because, one, he needs experience, and two, he gives you a fighter's chance. I don't think you can walk into Columbus this year and dominate the way they did at Ann Arbor. I was at the game. They controlled the line of scrimmage, both offensively and defensively. Hutchinson had his best career game ever, and the offensive line just pushed around Ohio State, and that's great. And Hassan Haskins ran very well. But very early on in that game, Jim Harbaugh and company made a decision. After that red zone interception, they're like, yeah, we're not throwing the ball. We're done. Yeah, you know what? We're not going to play this game. We're running the ball effectively. We're just going to run the ball. And that worked.
Well, it does come down to that offensive line, too. I think to be frank with you, I mean, I know you have your feelings about how the way that Michigan-Ohio State game could go this year. I think Michigan's better top to bottom as a team, right out of the box. I do.
Really?
Now, Ohio State has, obviously, C.J. Stroud. They've got a loaded offense, but when I look at where that game was won last year, it was in the trenches. And I think Michigan's better. They're going to be better, I think, from an interior defensive line perspective than they were last year. And I think their offensive line is going to be better. So, again, I'm not arguing. Like, I know I do a lot. I'm like diplomatic and hedging my bets in this quarterback battle. Make no mistake about it. The ceiling of this team is higher if J.J. McCarthy wins that job. But he has to win that job. They can't just insert him into the lineup because of the promise of what he could be. He has to go take it. Now, I think he has the goods to do that. I don't think it would be a situation where you're clearly playing a guy who's not ready and just waiting to see what happens. But, I do think that for as much of a finished product as Cade McNamara looks like he is, we have to at least consider the possibility that there are steps forward that he can take. Now, I tend to believe he's more of a finished product. I'm not going to argue that Michigan's ceiling won't be higher with J.J. McCarthy at quarterback, but this idea to me that they could only win, they can cap out at 9 or 10 wins. That's what the ceiling was last year, and they found a way to surpass that because they had a pretty darn good football team. And
I would argue one of my biggest concerns is going to be the loss of their defensive coordinator, the defensive players they lost. I think you've got a point with the offense. I do think the offense is going to be much better than it was last year in terms of talent. I think the way you unlock the offense is through JJ. But like you said, he does have to win the job. I do have to respect that. Boy, am I rooting for the kid, Anthony, to win that job. I think Michigan football will be much more exciting to watch. I think they'll be much more difficult to play against. And let's just call it what it is. This is a very friendly schedule. I believe, 7 home games this year, Anthony? 8 home games. So they have 8 home games. You can't tell me 7-1 isn't possible. And then they have on the road to Iowa, on the road to Columbus, and there's one more road game I'm losing track of. But the point is, this is a team that's going to win a lot of football games, regardless of who the quarterback is, just because of their talent and obviously because of their head coach. I'm rooting hard for J.J. McCarthy. I think that's the play. And I think if you're a Michigan fan, you would live with 8 wins, 9 wins with J.J. McCarthy more than you would 9 or 10 with a bowl win with Cade McNamara, given you're not going to ask yourself, what if? What if we actually gave the 5-star recruit a chance? What if? For me, that kills me.
Yeah, well, here's the thing I'll kind of wrap on that is with what they lose defensively, because it's not just Aiden, it's not just Ojabo. Obviously, you lose Mike McDonald too. I think they have a lot of talent on defense, but it's going to take some time, and they don't have that guy, that dominant guy who's going to maybe cover up some warts right now. So inherently, whoever wins this quarterback job, the offense has to shoulder more, which means whoever plays quarterback has to shoulder more. So Cade, to his credit, did everything that was asked of him last year. Can he do more? I think JJ is capable of more just because he's more talented. So we'll see what happens. I mean, you're going to see, regardless of what happens, you're going to see a lot of, if JJ wins the job, you might not see as much Cade McNamara, but if Cade wins the job, you're going to see JJ a ton. And we'll see what happens. But there's I like the bones of this football team a lot, and I think that the floor is pretty high. I don't know if the ceiling is quite as high as last year's was, but I do think the floor is pretty high, and they're going to be better in a lot of areas, including whoever emerges at quarterback. I think will be better than what they got last year. So.
All right, fair enough. Anthony Broome, thank you so much for joining us, Anthony. We appreciate it. Can't wait to have you back on again soon. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, check him out on Twitter. Give him a follow. He is my favorite follow, at least for anything Michigan-related on Twitter. Absolute great guy. We have to head to break. When we get back, Maddie, I am going to tell you guys why I've never felt more compelled. I've never felt more compelled to root against the Detroit Tigers. Chris Castellani was on Twitter last night. He dropped another episode of I'll Just Say This. By the way, you should go check it out, all of you at home. And he asked himself, is it acceptable to root against a team? And I find myself in a position where, with this Tigers team, and I'll give you my reasons why I'm absolutely rooting against them. But before we go, I need to tell you about Planet Fitness, where you can get your mental and physical health in shape. I'm working on getting on mine because Lord knows I'm out of shape both physically and mentally. I'm trying to get myself back together. $0 down, $10 a month. Your fitness is essential. Check them out at planetfitness.com or one of their many Metro Detroit locations. We'll see you soon.
6 dark corners, a driveway and a patio, 5 windows that could become doors. Every house has unique security challenges. Guardian Alarm has more tech, more team, and more ways to help keep them all safe. Get a professionally designed and installed security and smart home system from Guardian Alarm. Sign up today and get a free video device. Guardian Alarm. Smart, right from the start. Call 1-800-STAY-OUT.
When you need apparel, there's only one place to go. Big Frog in Novi. With no setup fees, no artwork fees, no minimum, and a 24-hour turnaround, you can have your whole team outfitted in no time. Embroidery, direct-to-garment, vinyl, and screen printing, Big Frog has it all in all the styles you want. So whether it's a sports team, fundraiser, school event, or corporate needs, Big Frog is your one-stop destination. Visit bigfrog.com/Novi or call 844-4-BIG-FROG.
Detroit has the best sports fans in the world. That's why they deserve the best sports coverage in the world. We are the Woodward Sports Network.
It's summertime, and you know what summertime in Michigan means? It means construction. But if you use Alto Equipment, you can get your construction done very quickly. Alto Equipment knows that when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. If you've got a big project coming up, make sure to give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today. Alto Equipment, where uptime matters.
All right, back on the Morning Woodward Show. Top of the hour brought to you by Bedrock Detroit. Why I've never felt more compelled to root against the Detroit Tigers. Guys, it's pretty simple. I want Al Avila gone. I can't stand the man. And I can't stand what's even worse. Look, I can respect if you have a different opinion, right? We all have different opinions. I'm sure we all think a little differently. It's fine. I can accept that. It's difficult for me to take somebody seriously who was defending and, quote, saying that Al Avila was left a dumpster of a farm system and that he has put the Tigers now in a better situation than they were when Dave Dombrowski left. When Dave Dombrowski left, they had won 4 straight division titles. They had made the wild card in Al Avila's first year because of the work Dave Dombrowski had done with the roster. And then when it was time for Al Avila, which everybody, including myself, accepted, it was time to rebuild, he traded away all of your assets. You ready? You ready? For a Sharpie.
Oh, I like Sharpies.
Al Avila traded Justin Verlander, J.D. Martinez, the list goes on and on for a Sharpie, and then what he did after that was even more incredible. You ready for this? This is big. This is a big deal. You ready? He signed a bunch of caps. Justin Upton, Jordan Zimmerman. Do I even have to say how much money they were paid? For a man who wasn't allowed to spend money, right? Okay. I am so done with Al Avila. I'm done with the idea that he needs time. Go give him another 10-year extension. The Tigers will suck 10 years from now, and they will accomplish nothing. You have a top-5 manager. That is why there was optimism going into the season. Don't get it twisted. You my friends, all of you at home, myself, everybody in this town had optimism for one reason only. AJ Hinch, Chris Fetter. You had a real coaching staff. You had a top 5 manager in baseball. And you were going to win games because of that. That doesn't mean Al Avila's done a good job. Al Avila has had 8 years to turn this thing around. Hasn't done it. Hasn't done it. And they're nowhere near contending. Look at his free agent signings. I really don't want to have to go into it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I'm so disappointed. So yes, should a typical sports fan be able to root against their team? I find it difficult, personally, as someone that supports all the Detroit teams. But when it comes to the Detroit Tigers, right now, I am all in on watching them fail. I would love to see AJ Hinch walk out the door, Chris Fetter walk out of the door at the end of the year, and give 2 middle fingers to Chris Ilitch and Al Avila for the awful work they've done over the last 8 years. Pathetic. Pathetic. Maddie? I'm being very harsh this morning. I'm pretty aware.
Okay. Wake up angry. That's what we do around here.
Wake up angry. That's the motto. But look, guys, this is just what I believe to be true, and also what I'm invested in this Tigers team. I want to see them succeed. Unfortunately, when you have a mentally challenged individual running baseball operations and picking out the groceries that you need to build your team, well, you're never going to get anywhere. You just aren't. Adham, Tarek Skubal, 9th round. Al Avila, got to give him credit. Yep. One good draft pick. Imagine picking in the top 10 every year and saying, oh, we have one of the better farm systems. Yeah, duh. You're drafting a top 10 prospect every year because you suck on the field. You don't just overhaul it in one offseason. You don't just get to sign for agents one time and spend one time and it works. That's not how this works. The 2006 Tigers, go back to them. Pudge in 04. The signings in 05. And then 2006. Not, oh, we're going to spend in the offseason of 2021. And in 2022, everything I've done the last 8 years is going to come together. That's not how it works, Al. That's not how you build a baseball team, Al. Al Avila blows.
But is hating him enough to want the Tigers to lose?
Yes, yes, because you know what? There's nothing this Tigers team needs more. And I haven't been this frustrated with an organization in Detroit since probably the transition from Bob Quinn and Patricia to Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell. And the frustration was we knew these guys were going to get fired, not because the decision was wrong, but we knew these guys were going to get fired. We let them draft a corner at 3. The team sucks. We're now going to trade Stafford, and I believe this guy who's coming in from Los Angeles is going to be a good GM, but we've set ourselves back years because of stupidity. But beyond the point, I don't want to see the Tigers lose. I really don't, but I'm compelled to root against them because Al Avila needs to get the fuck out of Detroit. And until he does, this baseball team isn't going to have any success. And if they do, it is in spite of him.
Right.
Not because of him. Is that too mean?
No.
I don't think so.
I mean, you're mean all the time, so
I know.
This one opinion of yours is not going to make you any meaner than the other opinion of yours.
Show me the top 10 farm system. Oh, the bats are coming up. What, Cody Clemens? Nice story. Riley Green's coming soon. He's going to save the Tigers. Nobody's hitting the baseball. Miggy is your best hitter.
Yeah.
That's pathetic. Well, Adam, if you're going to criticize Al Avila, the coaching, what are they doing to address it? Last I checked, GMs are so heavily responsible in baseball, along with managers. And I'm going to reiterate it. Why did you have optimism this season? Why? By the way, Al Avila had to beg to get Austin Meadows, who is not playing, at least up to expectations, given his performance with Tampa Bay last year.
I mean, is that anyone really playing up to their expectations?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Yeah.
Who's more responsible? The manager that walked in and won 77 games last year, or the fat guy that's done nothing for 8 years? You want to blame AJ Hinch? Fine, no problem. I'll get on board with that. No. I'm just speaking in general. For everybody out there that wants to criticize AJ Hinch, be my guest. No problem. He can walk out the door and he can go fucking win a World Series somewhere else because you're too stupid to understand what you have in this town right now. You actually have a good staff. Your issue is there's not a GM in place who can take this team that's kind of teetering on mediocrity to okay baseball and take them to very good to great baseball. Mm-hmm. You don't have the GM in place to do that. AJ Hinch can't do that. He can only coach them up so much. You need a guy that's going to be able to go get all the 1A groceries. Right now, Al Avila's shopping in aisle 3 with some D quality groceries. You need a guy that can get you Class A groceries.
You mean he's getting store brand?
I hate to say it, but he's buying store brand. 100%.
He's buying store
brand. He's not
brand.
spending the extra $3 to get the quality shit that you need to win in baseball. I'm so done. I'm so done with Al Avila.
It's very frustrating because it's like you look at it and it's a team, again, that Riley Green and Torkelson were on the cover of Baseball America, 2-3 months ago, and everyone was so excited for them, ready to see what they had to do. Green gets hurt. Torkelson does nothing for a hot second. Nobody's done anything for the entire season so far, but it's one of those things that it's like the only thing that they need to do is hit the ball, and they're not doing it. That's the most frustrating part.
Of all their qualified batters, Miguel Cabrera leads the team at 301. Robbie Grossman is in second in terms of qualified batters, which is 3.1 plate appearances a game. Mm-hmm. Robbie Grossman in second, batting 199, 198 for Baez, 192 for Scope, 191 for Torkelson, 181 for Candelario. Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Is there anybody on this team that you still have faith in?
I have faith in parts of the team in terms of individual players. I have faith in some of the young guys, the pitching staff. I have a lot of faith in the coaching staff. I have zero faith that Mr. Fat Man up there is going to be able to figure out how to put out a good baseball team that can contend and win the division. Mm-hmm. He is incapable. Look at the trades he's made, both as a seller and as a buyer. Horrible.
Yeah.
Go look at the signings he's made as a seller and a buyer, if you want to consider it that way.
Yeah.
Awful. He has done nothing but awful for the last 8 years. And we're going to sit here and say, yeah, well, you know, Adam, the batters aren't doing a good job, Adam. You see, in baseball, you got to hit the ball. And Al Avila can't go out to the plate and hit the ball. That's a new one, huh?
What is this new voice?
That's a new one. Just came out of my ass right now. Anyways.
Was that baseball fans everywhere?
Yeah. I'm not sure. That's a new one for me. I've never used that tone.
It reminds me of like on the radio when you would listen to like a baseball broadcaster and how they would talk about the game. That's what that reminds me of.
Oh, God. Easy left his window cracked in the rain. Jesus Christ.
Oh, boy. That's a
all right, Jeff,
move.
Get your ass up here. Jeff Iafrate joining the morning show. We got to talk some Pistons. I'm so excited. Tuesdays with Jeff, I look forward to it all the time. Having said that, we got to go to break. When we get back, Jeff Iafrate on the morning show. I'm excited.
Iafrate.
I'm always excited. But before, the official drink of the summer is here, and that is the Mulligan made with Gypsy vodka. When you're out on the golf course or hanging out in the backyard, the Mulligan is calling your name. Ask for the Mulligan at your local golf course or at a Total Wine near you. Please make sure you drink responsibly.
Life is full of hard choices. We're here to make one of life's biggest decisions as simple as possible. My name is Christina Gennari, and for over 20 years, I've helped hundreds of families buy and sell homes. We cover all of Metro Detroit and more, from large luxury homes to starter homes. We will work hard to make sure that you get the home of your dreams. So if you're in the market today or even thinking about buying or selling in the future, make the obvious choice. Christina Gennari, the obvious choice in real estate. Visit us at soldchristina.com today.
Strawberry Fest is back at Big Boy. We brought back some of the classic breakfast items like the strawberry French toast, hot cakes, and waffle. If you're not feeling breakfast, try our new strawberry bacon chicken wrap, crispy chicken wrap, nacho wrap, or strawberry salad. The perfect recipe for springtime. And don't forget to grab dessert, including our berry delicious strawberry pie for only $1.99 with the purchase of $7.99 or more at participating Big Boy locations.
We
The only sports network in Detroit that starts with a W. You know, because we win. Woodward Sports, Detroit's winning sports network.
It's a rainy day outside today, but don't worry, you can still get your tan on at Chili Peppers Tanning. That's where you find the cleanest salons in the D with spotless sanitized rooms and trained certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club for all the best deals on unlimited tanning. Chili Peppers, they've got the hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, and the darkest tans.
Chili Peppers Tan!
I really wanted you to do that.
Not going to happen. Jeff Iafrate joins us on the morning show. Jeff, thanks for hopping on with us.
Yeah,
I got to start
you.
with free agency.
Yep.
Seems DeAndre Ayton, that's becoming a thing. It's picking up some steam. But, one, do you expect the Pistons to spend big in free agency? And two, is there a player that's going under the radar that you think the Pistons may pursue or should pursue?
I think it's respectable, and you can appreciate an organization that picks up the phone. I think they're definitely going to be, inquiring in a lot of these free agents, guys like DeAndre Ayton, Colin Sexton, even Jalen Brunson to a certain extent. But if you're asking me, do I think they'll sign any of those guys? I don't think so. I think DeAndre Ayton's probably the only one I would assume they would really try to kick the can on because, listen, Colin Sexton, as much as I like him as a player, I just don't know, especially with the draft coming up. You have to wait and see what they do. Are they taking Jaden Ivey? If they're taking Keegan Murray, I think Colin Sexton makes sense. Jalen Brunson makes sense. But as of right now, to look at free agency and think they're going to assume they're going to spend big, it's way too early. And even, going out and acquiring a guy, if you want to talk about Donovan Mitchell, it's hard because everyone's excited. You want to add a big-time, superstar like Donovan Mitchell, and I think if I were to pick any of these guys, it'd be Donovan Mitchell over DeAndre Ayton, Jalen Brunson, Colin Sexton. I would take Donovan Mitchell. But just the likelihood. The Pistons are going to pick up the phone. They're going to be interested, obviously. But I just think it's also ironic that you're in a position now where you can go out and trade for a guy we could have drafted. I think that's laughable as well. But again, it is what it is. This is what we've came to. And I think they should definitely pick up the phone, inquire about all of these guys.
All right.
But it's hard to really get a pinpoint on what they're going to do.
Speaking of picking up the phone.
Yep.
I put out a tweet yesterday. I was just curious. If you're the Jazz GM or the Pistons GM, are you interested in this deal? So let's talk about Donovan Mitchell for a little bit. Okay. Donovan Mitchell. Unsettled in Utah right now. Is he a player worth, forget inquiring, strongly pursuing? And what I mean by strongly is, let's just call it what it is. If you're the Jazz GM, you're not making a trade, let's just talk about the Pistons, without Saddiq Bey and picks being involved. Now, you need to include Jeremy Grant to make the money work. Jeremy Grant about $20 million a year. I want to say Donovan Mitchell 28. So you got to include Grant.
Yep.
So you're looking at Grant, Bey, and the number 5 pick for Donovan Mitchell. I wouldn't do it. I'm not a fan of it. That's what I'd ask for if I was the GM of Utah, because I'm trying to get the best deal possible. But is it worth giving up this collateral, all of these assets for Donovan Mitchell?
If you look at it just in a vacuum, I guess Jeremy Grant, an asset that's already expected to be traded, Saddiq Bey, and let's say Killian Hayes and a couple first-round picks. You're getting a player that hasn't averaged below 20 points in his career. He had 57 points in a playoff game. Donovan Mitchell's a superstar. So, obviously, yes, I would say that. If you go get a guy like Donovan Mitchell, it's definitely excels this rebuild. And now you have Cade Cunningham. You have a superstar. We expect Cade to be a superstar. But it's really about, does Troy think this team is ready to go out and get a guy like Donovan Mitchell? If he still has faith in Saddiq Bey, obviously they're going to take their time. But really, I think it's an interesting question because depending on what they do, it'll tell you where they expect the Pistons to be as soon as possible. We talked about the Pistons winning in a couple years. If they go out and get a guy like Donovan Mitchell, that's a win-now move. That's a you want to contend in the East right now. And that's kind of partially why I don't think he'll come to Detroit. I think Miami's a better fit, although it's going to be hard for Miami to come up with assets. I just think an organization that knows they're a Donovan Mitchell away from winning, I think that makes more sense. But certainly, Adam, you'd respect any organization that picks up the phone. We talk about this with Deebo Samuel for the Lions. For the Brad Holmes to at least pick up the phone and inquire about Deebo, you got to respect it, even if they don't get him.
All right. The DeAndre Ayton situation, restricted free agent.
Yes.
I truly believe Phoenix will not match, no matter the offer. I think Phoenix are ready to move on. I don't think they're going to be willing to match a team like Detroit, one of these other teams out in the league that will likely spend max dollars to bring him here. Again, Ayton the player, I think his ceiling is, 20 and 12, 20 and 14 a night. I don't think he's Joel Embiid. I'd much rather have Joel Embiid, but okay, fine. I can live with Ayton.
Yeah.
But the team still has a big hole, even if they sign him. If you sign Ayton, does that change your draft strategy? Is it Shaedon Sharpe 100%, given he's an athlete, or is it Keegan Murray? I need a guy that can just create space and just really sit there and be ready to hit a jump shot when I need him to. I find this tricky. This is all very tricky to me because Jeremy Grant has to go.
Yeah.
I keep trying to talk myself through a Pistons conversation without bringing up Jeremy Grant. There is no scenario that works out where this motherfucker's on the team to start the season. Excuse me, Fish. I'm sorry. But it doesn't make sense. It will never add up to me.
Yeah, especially if they're not going to extend him.
Whether they sign a free agent, and again, if they sign a big free agent, the hell do I need this guy for? He is a good number 3, 4 at best on a contending team.
Yeah.
Dumbass thinks he's a number 1 on this team. Sorry.
I think certainly there's value in Jeremy. I think that's why he's probably going to be traded. Atlanta Hawks, it's being reported they're inquiring about Jeremy Grant. They're more and more interested. It's probably going to be a bidding war for Jeremy, which is good for the Pistons. But for DeAndre Ayton, I agree with you. I don't think the Suns, there's any situation he returns to the Suns. But what I will say is it doesn't change what they're going to do in the draft. I think either way, if you trade Jeremy and you feel like Keegan Murray is a Jeremy Grant replacement, go ahead and get him. I think that makes sense. But for me, I'm sold on getting a backcourt mate with Cade Cunningham, Ben Mathurin, Shaedon Sharpe, Jaden Ivey. Any of those guys will be great. And it doesn't change what they're going to do in free agency, Adam, because, I mean, nonetheless, any of these guys you pick, you're going to have Cade, Sadiq, Killian, Isaiah Stewart, and then Jaden Ivey, whoever it is, on all rookie contracts. So it'll be cheap for them, and then they can go out and sign a DeAndre if they so choose to. So I think it depends also. If they keep Jeremy Grant, it wouldn't make a whole lot of sense considering he is on the last year of his deal, and the longer you wait, the less value he has. It's better to trade him now. So to your point, it doesn't change anything they're doing, but they got to trade Jeremy. But if they don't, he's a damn good player.
What's the market for Jeremy?
I mean,
draft picks?
Yes. Troy Weaver came out and said he wants either 2 first-rounders or a first-rounder and a young player. I don't know. I believe the Atlanta Hawks will pay something like that. You would really have to look at the Hawks roster and see. Portland's another one because you can get the 7th pick and another good player or a future first. So those are the 2 destinations I'm sold on. You got Portland, you got Atlanta. Besides that, maybe some team comes out of left field, but those are the 2 teams I'm looking at.
Fair enough. All right. You've been high on Shaedon Sharpe.
Yes.
That's the guy you believe the Pistons should take at number 5 overall. Jaylen Brown is the comparison coming out of college right now. An athlete, a guy that can develop his game into, I would say, an effective scorer. Can also give you some defense. Probably isn't going to be a playmaker. Who knows, right? You don't have much film on him either.
Right.
He only last played in high school. Who has the highest ceiling in the draft? You know, we never talk about the top 3 guys because it's a lock that they're all going top 3. Banchero, we have, white boy, I forget his name.
Chet Holmgren.
Yeah. And then, and then Jabari Smith.
The white boy.
White boy. Anyways, the point is, is Shaedon Sharpe up there with those 3 in terms of ceiling, or are they just more complete coming out of college and that's why they're there? Because from the sounds of it, Shaedon Sharpe might be a top 2, top 3 prospect in this draft.
Yeah.
And he might be available at 5. How does that make sense?
I think, well, number one, it's the uncertainty. You don't have film on him. That's number one. But number 2, it's a big man's game. I mean, the top 3 guys are all 6'9" and above. So clearly, you kind of see where the NBA is going in that department. I think Paolo, Jabari, or Chet, all great options. For me, though, at 5, and 5's an interesting spot because you're still going to have a multitude of players to choose from. It's really about who you think has the highest ceiling and who you think is going to reach that ceiling. For me, I think it's Shaedon Sharpe. Jaden Ivey's another player I think has a tremendously high ceiling, and I think you have more film, obviously, so it makes more sense to take a Jaden Ivey. I just love swinging for the fences. I think in terms of fit, I want a pure scorer, somebody who can just put the ball in the basket and doesn't have to do a whole lot of other things. 6'6", 7-foot wingspan, 49-inch unofficial vertical. I like the intangibles I'm getting, but with Shaedon Sharpe, just being a supreme scorer next to Cade. That's kind of how I see this backcourt. Cade can be the facilitator. You can put the ball in his hands late in games, but then you have Shaedon who can offensively and even maybe defensively, if he's coached right, also contribute. So it really is a pick your flavor. If you like Jaden Ivey, I'm not going to sit here and argue with you. He's definitely a great option. It's just at this point, we're pulling straws. I mean, everyone has their own personal favorites, and for me, I'm good with about 4 guys. Okay. So that's how I'm rolling.
All right, you're a GM of an opposing team. What are you offering for Jeremy Grant?
If I'm...
Honestly.
Yeah.
Put yourself in Portland's shoes. Atlanta.
It depends. Like, it depends really on the situation. Like, if I'm Portland, for example, and I have Damian Lillard, I have a star who I need to build around as soon as possible and get wins and produce. I have Chauncey Billups, who I think is a formidable head coach that will win games. I think I would trade the 7th overall pick for Jeremy Grant, because who at 7 is going to help me right now? Nobody. Unless Keegan Murray's there, maybe. But even then, I think Jeremy coming out, he's just better right now. So I think if I'm Portland, I'm giving you the 7th pick. I don't know what else is going to be in that deal. I'm not going to add, an Anthony Simmons or nothing like that. I don't think so. But who knows, Adam? I think it's the 7th pick. I'm comfortable with that if I'm Portland. Now, if I'm the Hawks, I believe they have the 16th pick, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere in that area. You give that up, but even then, you're going to have to add more assets. Maybe.
Are you considering trading Dame? Because that's what I would do if I'm the Portland GM. I trade Dame.
It's a tough situation.
And I go into a full rebuild.
And if you do that, then obviously that 7th pick is off the table. But it's an interesting spot. I think Chauncey Billups, he's in a position where he wants to win now. So it's a tough – you have a coach who doesn't want to enter a rebuild. You have a star who wants to –
You have a front office that doesn't want to enter a rebuild.
Exactly.
That's surprising to me.
Ownership and everything. So it depends. If you're Portland, should you enter a rebuild? They should enter the rebuild as soon as they traded C.J. McCollum. But, again, they're Portland. So can't answer Portland's questions.
I wouldn't give up much. I wouldn't. I would laugh at the idea of giving up a top 7 pick for Jeremy Grant. I would hang up the phone.
Yeah. It's really
no
a question.
No matter how desperate I am to build something around Dame, look, I'm of the mindset you just got to go into a full rebuild. If you're Portland, if you're Atlanta, I'm not giving up Bogdanovich. So what's Atlanta giving Detroit?
That's probably the only asset you'd be willing to match Jeremy's salary with.
It's so tricky.
It's
so tricky. And for me, I don't think there's as many trade partners as Troy Weaver and really Pistons fans believe there are for Jeremy Grant. I don't think teams are interested.
I think teams are interested. Just because of Jeremy Grant. And we could crap on Jeremy all we want because the team sucked this year. But
it's not that the team sucked.
No, but you can't deny probably how many teams are in the playoffs. You take all those teams.
I complimented him. I said he would be a good number 3 on a legit playoff team.
And any team would want a guy like Jeremy Grant.
As a number 3.
Exactly.
And not the Pistons, who have Cade Cunningham, who you're trying to develop into a future superstar player.
Right.
With a guy that is a 3, but's trying to act and play like a 1. Not interested.
I think he's acting and playing like a 1 because given the circumstances. Also, if you set him off to Portland with Damian Lillard, he's not going to be number 1 clearly. So it just depends. Circumstance is important. It really is.
All right. Well, we got the Woodward Heavyweights showing up in a little bit, 9:30 to be exact. Got a lot of fun stuff to talk about with them. But before we do, Maddie, could you tell everybody at home about the good work our good friends over at the Sports Marketing Agency are doing?
Yes, I can. Our friends at SMA help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast, This is the F Word, helps spread awareness of fentanyl and other addictions. Go to thesportsma.com if you are struggling or know someone who is, and let them know that Woodward Sports sent you.
Hi, my diamonds. It's Crystal with an X. You want to get hot and perfect like me? Here's my super easy routine. Drink at least a gallon of water before you wake up. Attach a weight to everything in your house.
Hello?
Sell your car and just sprint everywhere. Scream when you exhale.
Don't follow Crystal with an X. Do your own thing at Planet Fitness with tons of equipment and free fitness training in our clean and spacious clubs. Join now for just $10 a month and cancel anytime.
Scott from the Woodward Bet Show. Boom! We gave you a winner yesterday. We're going to give you another one today, and we'll get to that here in a second. But first, you guys got to download oddstrader.com. It's the best place to check all the odds at all the sports books. It's got live scoring, play-by-play update, everything you need right in the palm of your hand. But hey, let's get back to that winner. We're going to roll with the Pirates today to beat our Tigers. I mean, Tigers one of the worst hitting teams against left-handed pitching. They only got 5 homers all year, major league worst. So we're going to roll with the Pirates tonight. Oddstrader.com, Woodward Bets. Check it out.
A network for the city, by the city. Woodward Sports is Detroit Sports.
Well, I don't know if you guys have any plans this week, but I'm trying to get Adham to go to the Fulling Warehouse with me in Hamtramck. That's home of the original football bowling pin game called Fulling. They've got 2 ways to play, $12 unlimited open play, or you can reserve a private lane for just $120. Don't forget, of course, they have a $2 mystery beer machine, as well as multiple full bars, so check it out at thefullingwarehouse.com. Oh my God.
How can you not? Fulling Warehouse.
Fulling Warehouse, baby. That is where me and Spencer will be taking Maddie out.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's get this started, man. We
do
got
it.
the Woodward Heavyweight in the building. Spencer Raxer, also the producer of the Big D Energy Show.
Hey-o.
This guy's legit. Can we get a single shot on him right now? I want you to observe
Can we
this
clap it up for
255 pounds of man. Damn right. Damn right. And adjust your camera. Well done.
You know, I'm here. I'm ready to go.
All right.
Happy to be on the morning show. Thanks for having me.
You got it, buddy. Let's start. Let's start with Adham Hutchinson.
Adham Hutchinson.
PFF released one of their recent 25 under 5, or excuse me, 5 under 25 list. 5-year-olds.
Got some babies out there.
A question is, and I'll read the list for you. Can Adham Hutchinson crack this list by the end of the season?
Yes.
The top 5 players under 25 at the edge position: Nick Bosa, Rashawn Gary, Max Crosby, Chase Young, and Brian Burns out of Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Can Adham crack that list?
I think he can. I really do think he can. I think, you know, obviously with the drive, everybody knows that's what he plays with. He's known for his motor, his high motor. And with this new defense that the Lions are going to be having going forward, where it's giving them free reign to just go after the quarterback, go there, get the quarterback. They're not reading things. They're not waiting to see what the Lions do. They're going out there, they're attacking the quarterback. I think that will play very well in Adham Hutchinson's style. He's obviously, that's what we brought him here to do. We brought him here to kill the opposing team's quarterback. And that's what we want him to do. And if he goes out there, if he lives up to the hype, if he starts, you know, I said on BDE, I'll have him at I could see him at 12 sacks. 12 sacks this year. Yeah.
That'd be very impressive.
High,
oh, okay, the ceiling.
Yeah, high ceiling, 12 sacks, you know, a couple forced fumbles maybe, and he's only going to get better as he goes on, as he learns how to play in the NFL, as he learns how to get around these tackles, use his speed, use his athleticism to get around these guys and to go towards the quarterback. So I definitely can see him getting in there, maybe edging out Brian Burns. We know Chase Young didn't have a great year last year. That was mainly due to injury because he had a fantastic rookie campaign. So we will see. We will see if he can get to that caliber. I don't think he's going to be a Nick Bosa. Rashawn Gary really came out of nowhere. Obviously, he's a Michigan guy too. He was very highly recruited out of high school. He didn't do so well at Michigan, and then he came for the Packers. We saw what he did last year. He was causing havoc. He was getting quarterback pressures. And I think that's something that Adham Hutchinson should shoot for, is that in between that Chase Young and Max Crosby, because we saw what Max Crosby did for that Raiders defense last year, and they add Chandler Jones to that. So I think if Adham Hutchinson can come close to that, even in his first year, it's really important, and it will be a driving point for the Lions defense, definitely.
All right. Easy joins us, the other half of Woodward Heavyweights, so now I can actually call it Heavyweights. Easy. Question is, top edge rushers under 25 years old in the NFL: Nick Bosa, Rashawn Gary, Max Crosby, Chase Young, Brian Burns. Is there an opportunity or possibility that Adham Hutchinson enters the conversation by the end of the year?
I think so. I think, you know, if Chase Young is in there, the big year that he had his rookie year was 8.5 sacks. I think that's doable for Adham Hutchinson, especially on this defensive line. I think, obviously we weren't ranked highly, I'm saying, in edge rushing last year, but we were a bit surprised at some of the names we saw, like Charles Harris to grab 7 out of there. We got rid of that read and react defense. Now it's attack, attack, attack. And I think, you know, looking at this defense and Aaron Glenn and his history, it's what they've wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? They just haven't had, I guess, the roster to do it with. And I think we're going to see his true potential as a defensive coordinator. I know he wants to be the best defensive coordinator in Detroit history. He's not competing with much. I mean, you know, was it Tyro, what's his last name?
Crosby.
Crosby? I was okay. I was going to say that, but it didn't sound right. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. But I think he can be.
What I would say is it's going to be tough, although some of those individuals will no longer be on the list next year. So I guess you could put it that way if you want to say he could sneak in. It would take at least 9 sacks for him to be in that conversation. Yes. 9 sacks, but to be honest with you guys, I'm starting to care less and less about the sacks. Show me the quarterback pressures. That's the number. You can have a 3-4 year stretch like Max Crosby has had. You're doing something right. Yeah. Over 100 quarterback pressures. That's what I want to see. And there are a lot of question marks on this defense, right? If the defensive line plays good, well, the secondary is going to be a lot better, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. But let's just call it what it is. It's an unproven defensive line. He took a kid at number 2 overall, the 7th defensive interior lineman or edge rusher, taken since the year 2000, drafted number 2 overall. Of the 6 prior to Aiden Hutchinson, 5 of them are first ballot Hall of Famers. Of the 5 of 6 won Defensive Rookie of the Year. Aiden Hutchinson, in my opinion, based on history, based on his talents coming out of college, is in line to have a season where he probably walks away with Defensive Rookie of the Year. The last 2 Defensive Rookie of the Year's edge rusher, 2 guys on this list, Nick Bosa, Chase Young. 9 sacks for me does it. 9 sacks gets him in the top 5. In my opinion, 9 sacks gets him Defensive Player of the Year, unless somebody else in the NFL is just tearing up the league, which Trayvon Walker, I don't think any of us are expecting him to work out in Jacksonville. Shout out to Jacksonville Jaguars and Trent Baalke. Shout out. Really appreciate that. Thanks for fucking that up. I haven't said that.
It's Terrell Austin, by the way.
Terrell Austin.
Yeah, Crosby didn't sound
and
right.
Another thing that I think Hutchinson has in his favor is, this is kind of an unproven defensive line. And so he was drafted that high. He's going to be getting all the reps he needs, all the looks that he wants, and also the depth they have. It's going to keep his legs fresh through the whole season. They have both of the Aquaras. They have Charles Harris. They have Pascal. They have these guys that they can rotate in and out.
John
Kaminsky. They have that dude from Charleston that everybody was hyped that we got off waivers. So it's going to provide a lot of opportunities for Aiden Hutchinson to come in fresh and just get after the quarterback. And that's what he does best. That's obviously, like I said, why we drafted him. So, 9 sacks should be the minimum if he wants to get into this category. But like you said, it's a lot about quarterback pressures, because we look at Rashawn Gary being on that list. Rashawn Gary didn't have this crazy amount of sacks. It was just he was in the backfield every play. It felt like he was just winning off the block every play, back there in your face. And that is just as important as getting a sack. Is if you can get back there, you can put pressure on the quarterback, get him off his spot, make him throw a bad throw, an errant pass, or just throw the ball away is just as important as getting a sack. So there's a lot of factors. I know PFF, they do their homework, so they do a lot of different factors into it. But I think, this is definitely something he should be shooting for.
All right. Before we go to break, I want to ask you a quick question, both of you. I want your answers. At 9:40, we're going to discuss which of the 2 coordinators we think are going to have the better year. But before we get to that, Donovan Mitchell to the Detroit Pistons. I threw out the question yesterday, was it worth it? I personally don't think you should give up that much. But I also, from thinking as the Utah Jazz perspective, I want pick number 5. If I'm taking Jeremy Grant, I want Sadiq Bey. And damn it, if you want to throw in Killian Hayes, I'll take him too.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Pistons should do it. But is it worth pursuing a guy like Donovan Mitchell to pair with Cade Cunningham? Or are you better off thinking long-term, saying, you know what, we're going to bring in a guy that is, currently a star, not a superstar, but he's a star player. And by the time Cade enters his prime, this guy's going to be expiring on his contract, and then we're going to have to pay him a hell of a lot of money on top of Cade Cunningham. And then we're going to have to look at our bench and say, well, we haven't even seen these 2 in their primes together yet. What's the decision there? I wouldn't do it, but what are your thoughts on Donovan Mitchell?
It's tough, man. Donovan's a dog. Dude's a dog. We see him coming to the league averaging 20 points. You know what I'm saying? That's special. Utah Jazz almost didn't skip a beat, drafting him. Sucks that he was in the Pistons jersey. Shout out
Luke Kennard.
SVG. Yeah, shout out Luke Kennard. But
white people never work out in the lottery if they're Americans.
Honestly, we had the discussion the other day. Like, you just know.
You don't draft a white boy in the NBA.
Like, unless he can jump out of the gym, or he's
from Germany.
Unless he's from Germany or Spain, and he's been playing at Real Madrid since he was 13. There are exceptions.
He's got to be spicy white.
Luke Kennard is not the exception.
He's got to be
spicy white.
We should have learned from J.J. Redick and Adham, whatever his name was, Morrison.
Yeah. Kyle Singler.
Anyway.
It's tough because I have like a philosophy. I think I don't know if I said this in the Morning Wood yet, but on heavyweights I've said it plenty of times. Basketball's a big man's game at the end of the day. Donovan Mitchell only stands at 6'1", freak of an athlete. almost a 7-foot wingspan, could shoot the ball. I think he becomes a better player come to the Detroit Pistons with a facilitator like Cade Cunningham. So you can score at all 3 levels, just kicking it back out to Mitchell, giving him wide open shots where he executes. So, like, it's really tough for me. I think you, for sure, at least make the call. I'm not including Bay in that conversation, but I definitely make the call, and I do offer him Grant. I do offer him Killian, and I do offer him 5.
Okay. Yeah. Spence?
It's hard to say no to a superstar talent, and that's what, especially in the NBA, and that's what Donovan Mitchell is. He's a superstar talent. We've seen him go against that series in the bubble against the Nuggets when it was him versus Jamal Murray, and they were both going 50-point games back and forth, making 35-foot three-pointers, looking amazing, like they're the future of the NBA. And like I said, it's hard to say no to that, but that's the type of play you move to push your team over the top. That's the type of play you move when you're Toronto and you add Kawhi Leonard. You bring him in to win a championship. That being said, I don't think the Pistons are there yet. I think the smarter move is to build more inside with Cade to get another guy, maybe, whoever that is in the draft. If it's Jaden Ivey, Shaedon Sharpe, if it's Ben Mathurin, you bring that guy in, you see how he works with Cade. It's more important to build that core. And like Easy said, you got to call them. You got to see what they're asking for. I would be hesitant to give up Sadiq in the trade talk because it's going to take a couple draft picks. They're going to want Sadiq, so I don't see that going through. And I think that's a trade you make when you're missing that one piece. And the Pistons are missing a lot more than just that one piece.
All right, I love it. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, which coordinator on the Detroit Lions will have a better year? Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson. But before we do, I got to tell you about where I get my haircut and my beard taken care of weekly. And that's at Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men open 10 to 8, 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. There is no appointment necessary. They're awesome. Stylists will take care of you like they take care of me. Again, that's Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
He's going deep, right side. Oh, that is Edwards out there. He goes up in the air at the goal line.
Hey, it's Brandon Edwards here, wanting to welcome the sports marketing agency to Woodward Sports Network, to the family. Glad to have you guys. For the last decade, the sports marketing agency has literally leveraged athletes around issues such as mental health and substance abuse.
Glad that we can finally start trying to get the stigma off of mental health that's been there for all these years.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Woodward Avenue, the first paved road in America. Woodward Sports, the first sports network born in Detroit and made for Detroit.
Oddstrader.com is the #1 site for all of your game day bets. Head on over to their website for the best price on every game and sign-up offers from multiple sports books. Don't forget, of course, you can download their app today for play-by-play updates, live scores, and bet tracking. So head on over to oddstrader.com.
Better bet on Australia.
Hell yeah. Here
How
we
can
are.
you not?
How can you not? We're back here on the Morning Woodward Show. The Heavyweights joining us, by the way. Their featured video drops at 10 o'clock this morning, right after the morning show gets off air on the Woodward Heavyweights page. It is a hot sauce review with Terry Foster. Apparently you made him cry.
Yes.
I really have nothing to say about this, but we'll move on. I'll let Spencer go first.
Yes.
Aaron Glenn or Ben Johnson? Who has the better season?
I think Ben Johnson. I think he's set up for the most success. That being said, he's not going to be – we don't know if he's going to be calling the plays to start the season. We don't know if it's going to be Dan Campbell. So that gives him that plausible deniability if the offense doesn't look good in the first couple weeks of the year. But with all of the weapons that they've surrounded Goff with, and everybody on this network by now knows my feelings about Jared Goff. I don't think he's great, to put it nicely. But he is in a situation right now to where he has all the means to succeed. He has a top 5, top 3 offensive line in the NFL. He's got weapons on the outside this year with DJ Chark, with J-Mo. When he comes back healthy, these guys will stretch the field. He's got a great tight end in TJ Hawkinson. He's got a very, very good running back room, 1 through 5 running back room of solid guys who can come in, the top 2 being very good. And if this offense sputters, it will cause a lot of suspicion, not only on Dan Campbell's play calling ability, but their scheming with Ben Johnson. So I think he is in the best position to have success. I think that will be our most successful side of the ball, is the offense, because of the weapons that we've surrounded with Goff with. Now, if Jared Goff goes out there and can't get it done, that's a different story. But I see him having success this year. I said it on the pod. You'll see it later. I can see him being around that 3,800 to 4,000 yards mark with 25 touchdowns, 12 picks, something like that, and going out there and using these weapons to his advantage. So I'm going to go with Ben Johnson and the offense.
Easy.
Yeah, I think I'm in agreement. It's kind of weird because you look at the additions made this offseason, and the defense got the bulk of it. Obviously, through the draft, they got Aiden Hutchinson, Josh Pascal, Kirby Joseph. You added Mike Hughes in the offseason, Deshaun Elliott at the safety position. And there's a lot more competition brewing on that side of the ball as well. But I truly believe in Ben Johnson as a coordinator. I think just a taste of him that we got last year alongside – alongside Dan Campbell. And by the way, everyone's kind of like bashing on Dan Campbell for calling the plays. Look, that 6-game sample we saw that we liked to Jared Goff last year, guess who was calling the plays?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, it was Dan Campbell. But I like what Ben Johnson was able to do last year, given the I don't want to be disrespectful to what the roster was, but it wasn't the greatest. You know what I'm saying? And I think you add a weapon like Jamison Williams. Obviously, TJ Hawkinson's back healthy. I think Amon-Ra St. Brown clearly had a rapport with Jared Goff. I almost said Aaron Rodgers. I wish that was the case. But, and then DJ Chark, too. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's the offense. Last year, this question came around. I think I was actually in the morning show with you and Jeff, Adam, and I said the defense. This year, I'm taking the offense. What about you?
Yeah, it's pretty easy. As much as I love Aaron Glenn, I think he's a damn good coordinator. It's an offensive league. Young, offensive, innovative coaches are winning in this league. The experienced defensive coordinators and head coaches who are defensive-oriented are struggling. Ben Johnson all day. Me and Jeff last October were screaming for Ben Johnson, and that was like one of our our favorite things. I remember you came out, I think it was in that same month, and you literally walked up to us in the back. You're like, I love you guys. Thank you for talking about Ben Johnson.
Yeah.
Something like that, if I remember correctly. And the point is, I think the kid's a stud. And I think even if Dan Campbell doesn't work out, I think you have a stud internally.
Yes.
This is a guy that I think can be the next Kyle Shanahan, Matt LaFleur, Sean McVay in his own right. Now, as a head coach in terms of that success, that's a to be determined. But I'm talking from being one of the revered offensive minds in the NFL, Zach Taylor. You look at Andy Reid, these guys that just have a way of getting the offense to work, even if it doesn't have a ton of talent. I think this is a kid that can develop into that. He's talked of very highly around the NFL. Everybody has wanted to hire him, including Zach Taylor, who was in the Super Bowl with the Bengals last year. Yeah, I'm drinking a lot of Ben Johnson. Slurpees, 100%. I'm all in on the kid. I've been all in for a long time, but to even credit Dan Campbell, he let the kid help script the entire game plan down the stretch. He saw the Lions become much better. Dan Campbell became a better play caller, and I think it will. I don't think it's a question. Ben Johnson will be calling the plays. For me, Dan Campbell looks like just a guy that's going to oversee and give his opinion on everything. Mm-hmm. And if he doesn't like something, he has a headset on.
Yeah.
If Ben Johnson calls a play, he's going to, Ben, what the hell are you thinking, man?
Yeah.
Change it up. Give me your 2 best plays. What are they? 1 and 2. Oh, okay, go 2. He's going to have that power. But I think Ben Johnson is going to have a very good season. My only concern is who's going to hire him at the end of the year.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson could be away by the end of the year. That's the reality the Lions need to accept. Ben Johnson, not because he's experienced, but because he's young and he's offensively driven, and that's where the league is going. Yeah. Aaron Glenn, experienced and has shown he can coach up a defense. So
that's what makes me nervous. I don't want to lose these guys when we finally have them. We're finally getting them to be in their spots. Like you guys both said, we saw what Ben Johnson did with that offense last year. He revitalized it. He comes in there And in the last 6 games of the year, it looks like a totally different team. You've got Amon-Ra using that Deebo Samuel-esque plays, coming out of the backfield running. You have all of these complex play schemes, different routes, crossing routes, and it's only going to get better from there. He's going to have more freedom. He obviously had a whole year to build his playbook, to build his schemes, to see how he wants to attack teams with all these new weapons that they have circled around Jared Goff. So I'm very excited for him, but that scares me. It scares me that we're going to lose him. It scares me that...
It's a good thing, though.
It is, but...
Unless you're the Washington Redskins at the time and you allow 3 stud coaches to walk out of the building for John Gruden.
Crazy.
Or Jay Gruden, excuse me.
Wild.
Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, and Matt LaFleur.
Jay Gruden.
Imagine.
Well, brother.
Imagine.
We're going
in the
out
last
there,
30 years. In the last 30 years. No, 40 years. The Redskins, now the Commanders, previously the football team, have won less divisions in 30 years than those 3 head coaches have in the last 5 seasons. Think about that for a second.
Yeah. I like the football team better than Commanders, honestly.
I like football team a lot. I actually was starting to like it. Yeah, I did
Bunch
like
of
it.
nerds. I like it better than
and
Commanders.
I also like looking at it because it was WFT, and I always thought of what the F.
Yeah.
So like it just made me laugh every time I looked at it. I thought it was a good logo.
It made my ADD spark every time I looked at it. I wasn't a fan of it.
All right, well, Heavyweights, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Spencer Easy, guys, make sure you check them out on the Woodward Heavyweights YouTube channel. They'll be dropping all of their content. They're actually dropping a video live, premiering at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
So make sure you're there checking it out.
More Ben
we gotta
Johnson
go to break.
talk, baby.
When we get back, mailbag time. Maddie, before we go, could you tell us about the lifestyle beverage that is Cintron?
Yes, I can. The summer of Cintron is here, and it is now available at your local Kroger. Pick it up. They've got 2 for just $4. That's an absolute steal. Cintron is the... You're killing me. Anyways, go to Kroger, get your Cintron. Drink it, live it with Cintron.
Hi, I'm Kay Cunningham. Working with Hall Financial to purchase my first home was easier than I could have ever imagined. They treated me like family from start to finish. Find out for yourself at callhallfirst.com.
New to the game or a season better? OddsTrader.com has everything you need to make the right bet ahead of kickoff. Begin your handicapping journey with OddsTrader. Improve your edge by finding the best price on every game from sportsbooks in your backyard. Take advantage of the numerous sign-up bonus offers to pad your bankroll. Dive into key game statistics, player performance, and even account for the projected game day weather. Best of all, you can use the OddsTrader bet tracker to keep a log of your action. Welcome to OddsTrader, and best of luck.
Get a shot up. This is for the win. All of Detroit's sports teams live on Woodward. All of Detroit's sports coverage lives on Woodward Sports. Driving the best in Detroit sports coverage.
Open all summer long from Memorial Day to Labor Day. Bedrock Detroit is officially here. We're so excited for this. Summer is better at the Monroe Street Midway. They have it all, ladies and gentlemen. Basketball, roller skating, mini golf, art installations, live music, food trucks. They have it all. Free Wi-Fi as well. Make sure you're checking it out all summer long. We'll be down there having a great time. Again, that's the Midway. Oh, wow, I choked up on that one. Monroe Street. It's the Monroe Street Midway. Brought to you by Bedrock Detroit. We're so excited to have them on. It's an awesome, awesome event going on downtown all summer long. I'm excited for it. Mailbag time. We'll start with Jesse.
Mailbag time.
We'll start with Jesse Adams, two-parter. Adam, how crazy do you think I am for throwing $15 on Hutch and K9 to win Rookie of the Year? I think it's a decent bet. K9's going to get a lot of touches on offense. The only problem he'll run into is if one of the receivers have a stud year or if Kenny Pickett works out. And if Kenny Pickett works out, it's tough to beat out a quarterback for Rookie of the Year. Having said that, second part to your question, will we ever bring on Justin Thind to talk Michigan State football? Absolutely. You know what? I need to get on that. I invited him a long time ago, and then there was a conflict in schedule.
And he said, no, I hate you.
I know. I got to bring him back. Drop the ball on me. I'll get him on soon. What other questions do we have in the chat? Mailbag, how much does the off-season work show for the buy-in of a Dan Campbell offense? Dan Campbell culture. I think the players are bought in. That's great. But you can't build a culture if you go out and win 2, 3, 4 games this year. Sorry. They can like Dan Campbell all they want. I'm sure he's a very good guy. If they don't win football games or start winning football games and start competing, you're not going to be able to build a culture. I don't care how likable you are. when you're running a business, if you're losing money every month, just because everybody loves to work there doesn't mean it's a good culture. You're losing. You'll be out of business soon. So if they want to keep it going, they're going to have to win games. Pineapple on pizza? I'm not a fan of it.
I said yes, but only if there's ham and double the bacon on there as well.
That seems like a lot of compensation for the pineapple.
I like it.
I don't. I don't know.
I like
that
what I like.
sour,
I don't know.
sweet.
It's fine. I don't care what you like, so.
That's mean.
Sorry, I'm a little spicy this morning.
Yeah, I know. Just because you got stood up and I didn't doesn't mean.
I didn't get stood up. We rescheduled.
Yeah. That's what they all say. Adam, why are you so mean to fish? Can you put the camera on fish? That's why.
Go Socceroos! Beat United Arab Emirates. They can
That's
suck
why.
off.
Yep, that's why. So whoever questions how I treat fish, suck my dick.
Oh.
All right? I don't care what you think, to be honest.
I
Love you guys.
do. Stop swearing, bum.
Adam, Saturday, 10 a.m. Are you in? Oh, my God. I'm down. I'm down as hell.
For
I'm always
what?
down to golf.
Oh, golf. Ah.
I'm always down to
Wasim, you
golf.
haven't sent me any pictures in a while.
Hey. We were doing good. I don't.
Wasim!
No.
I need pictures!
Send more
Please,
pictures.
God, no. Please, God, no. Let's see. Pepperoni, pineapple, and jalapenos. What?
Jalapenos on pizza are good, but you have to have the right combination, and that is not it, my friend.
Okay, give me a combination with jalapenos, because I'm interested.
It could be like
a cheeseburger pizza could have that on it.
Yeah,
Ew,
I've had
no.
jalapenos on a burger before.
oh well, yeah, on a burger.
Yeah,
he
that's
said
what
on a cheeseburger pizza. I'm not here for that.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
Well, that's what people do. They have
That's-
advertisements for it. Like Papa
Yeah.
John's has
I'll
it.
put,
Pizza
I'll
Hut.
put jalapenos on like a pepperoni and mushroom pizza. Whatever.
Jeez. Thoughts on the missed call in the Michigan-Louisville game and the umpire who went to Louisville and worked for ESPN Louisville? Yeah, I saw that. That was sketchy as hell. Replay showed he was out. I don't know how you look at the replay and come to any other conclusion. That's the human element of the game. Even with replay, unfortunately, someone still has to make a decision. It's disgusting, actually. It was a horrible call. I'm not happy about it. Adam, why are you cutting down on the F-bombs? We miss them. Because I am trying to grow
Today
as
was
one,
not
a
a cutting
professional,
down day.
and two, you know, we have agreements, and it's difficult for me to drop F-bombs. I try to do them on occasion because it's just my personality. I swear a lot. It's who I am. I'm not going to change who I am, but I also have to keep in mind that I can't be dropping an F-bomb every segment. It's just not a good look. Barbecue chicken pizza is the play always. Mushroom is the best pizza topping, says Spencer.
Mushroom is so good on pizza.
I love mushrooms.
I do too.
I literally get mushroom pizza from Brooklyn. Yeah, I'll eat a straight mushroom pizza, no problem.
Yeah, I would do it too.
It's awesome.
I love.
Do you think the
mushrooms.
Lions could win the NFC North?
No.
I don't. There are scenarios where I think they could. Aaron Rodgers quits on the team midway into the season. Kirk Cousins gets hurt. Yeah, that's what it would take. I don't think they'll be better than, or significantly better than Minnesota and Green Bay this year. Green Bay still has a defense. For as much as we question the offense, they have Aaron Rodgers and they have a hell of a defense that probably wins them alone 10 games this year.
Scott asked if I was with Ryan on the bottom line with a 10-win season. No, I actually predicted 6.
Yeah, she predicted less than him.
So, yeah.
Maddie gets
Ryan's
her
on his own
education on the
island.
Morning Woodward show. She's no fool. Don't worry. I got you.
Thanks, babe.
All right, what else we got? The heavyweights in the AM is thick. Make them permanent, yo. Yeah, I mean,
It
it's
is every
heavyweight
Tuesday.
Tuesdays. You know,
Yeah.
we're going to keep it running.
Terrorless Tuesday, Heavyweight Tuesday, whatever you
We're
want to
down
call
for
it.
it. Adam, you and Raj going to do the Avila and Illich thing soon? Yes. I'm just trying to find front row tickets. I'm finding row 2 everywhere. I have not
Okay.
found a row 1.
Have
I
you
need row 1.
watched? Have you watched a baseball game from home plate? You don't have to be in first row. There's like 4 or
I'm
5
trying to
rows
secure my
that-
spot because I don't want anybody telling me I have to get up and move back.
But they can
So,
do that regardless.
I don't care.
The ushers are just
Yeah, you
ushers.
could
They
probably
do
just
whatever.
go there because there's nobody at the games
Yeah.
anyways.
Well, yeah,
All
that's
right, well,
another
that
thing,
changes
too.
everything then. Ideally in the next few weeks.
I mean, we
A-
can watch the game later. Is it home tonight?
I'm not sure.
will
Oh, no,
look.
it's not. It's in Pittsburgh.
In
actually.
Pittsburgh?
Adam, fantasy football show coming this season? Absolutely. Absolutely. We haven't built the lineup yet, but we're getting pretty close. I'm excited for the fantasy football show this year. It's going to be fun. Heavy Wood Tuesday. We don't need to talk about that, guys. Can you now say that Wasim is your daddy? Okay.
Oh, boy. Wow.
Oh, I wasn't ready.
What am I doing with this? All
Somebody
right.
said, what's the best pizza in Michigan? Jets or Little Caesars? First of all,
Jets.
Little Caesars is not
Little
even in the
Caesars?
conversation for the best pizza in Michigan, so you can get the
The
hell out.
the only way Little Caesars is in the conversation
Hot and ready,
is if you
quick.
have it at the
ballpark.
Yeah, at the ballpark.
And it's a giant
And
slice.
yes, that's the
and
only
yes,
way.
the 3-meat treat.
Other than that, the worst pizza in Detroit.
Yeah, no, don't
I don't
go
even know
there.
how they're still in business. Anyways.
Alibi Pizza in Troy is probably my favorite pizza.
Okay. I don't mind that. We got to go. 10 o'clock. Thank you all for tuning in this Tuesday. We appreciate it.
Taco Tuesday.
Big D Energy coming up in an hour. Make sure you check them out. Show them some love. Make sure you drop a like on this video.
Yes.
We appreciate it so much. You all have a great rest of your
Woodward
Tuesday. We'll see you
Heavyweights, 10
tomorrow.
o'clock.